how we're going to do this pod today, it's going to be a little different. Stefan's busy with, trying to get ready for his move to California. So he's a busy man doing all that. And I think he leaves on the 21st, so next week. So I'm sure he's tied up with that. I just reached out to him and he said he can do the pod today, but he can only make the picks. So I'm going to go over last week's results, week 6 results, and then I'll invite him in for the picks of week 7, and then we'll kind of go from there. Might talk a little bit after that, but we'll see. So going over last week's results in the NFL, week 6. First, we'll go over Stefan and I's picks. So we both went 9 and 6. I think I wrote it down, but this doesn't look like it's up to date. Let me see. It's good podcasting. I have it written down somewhere. His record and then my record. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. So, so his record is 57 wins, 34 losses, and 1 tie. And then my record is 60 wins, 31 losses, and 1 tie. So those are our overall money line picks for the season. We both went 9 and 6 last week. It looks like the games that Stefan lost were the Eagles, Cowboys, Jags, Titans, Bills, and Commanders. And then I lost the Eagles, Dolphins, Titans, Lions, Bills, and Commanders. So, yep, that's 6 as well. So 9 and 6, not our best work, but it could be worse. It definitely could be worse. And then I'm looking over, some of the results. I mean, the biggest shocker last week has to be the Eagles losing to the Giants, especially in the way in which they lost. 34-17. No one was expecting that. What a performance by New York at home. And Philly is now on a 2-game skid. So we'll see how it shakes out for them. It for the Eagles, it still looks like they're having some struggles with passing the ball. Actually, I would say the pass off of the run. Their pass their passing stats look okay. I feel like every game, like for instance this week or this week 6 matchup against the Giants, Jalen Hurts 24 completions, 283 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So the passing yardage is there, but how much is that is garbage time, and all passing yards aren't created equal. And when Saquon and the team are only running 20 times, that's a big it's not good for the Eagles because they're so used to winning by running the football. I mean, they're tush push and Saquon Barkley having a crazy year last year, so they have to find a way to get back to running. And that's going to be a challenge because everyone expects them to run. It's like in this season, teams are saying, "Okay, throw the ball. We're not losing by the run. We're not winning. We're not losing against the Eagles like we lost to the Eagles last year." And that's the NFL for you. Teams make adjustments. You can't win the same way every year. So Eagles are going to have to find another way to win. And it might be, I don't know. They might just have to change up their style. I don't know what the answer is, but that was a big win for the Giants. Looks like the Giants might have something in their duo of Jackson Dart and Cam Scotabo. So that looks promising for them. And the Giants play the Broncos, the boys, this week. Don't think the Giants have much of a chance. And the reason I say that is there's a couple of reasons. Number one, rookie quarterback going against the best defense in the NFL. There's no bias there. They have 30 sacks. They're on pace for, I think, 85 sacks for the season. And the most sacks ever by a team in one season is 72 sacks. So Broncos defense is phenomenal right now, and they are on pace to blow by the sack record. So that is a tough matchup for a rookie quarterback. I don't care who the rookie is, especially when you're going to Denver, playing in that atmosphere. And Demaryius Thomas, RIP, I need an 88 jersey. They don't make them, but if the NFL is listening, you guys need to make those jerseys. I need an authentic Demaryius Thomas jersey, and I don't want to like create a custom 2025 Broncos jersey with Demaryius Thomas. He didn't play in that jersey. So NFL, please make an authentic throwback or something, Mitchell and Ness of Demaryius Thomas, RIP. But again, he's being enshrined into the Ring of Fame in Denver this weekend. So it is going to be emotional. The fans, the crowd is going to be emotional, and I just think that's a little too much for Jackson Dart and the Giants to overcome. They got a lot to overcome. If they go on and win that game, all credit to them, but I don't see a way in which Denver loses this game. So good start for the Giants, but they have a tough test coming up this weekend, this Sunday. What's some other games here from last week that kind of stood out? Rams, Dolphins. That was a Chargers, Dolphins. I'm sorry, that was a pretty good game. I would say the Chiefs. The Chiefs beating the Lions in the way in which they did was kind of surprising. I mean, we all were thinking it in the back of our head: are the Chiefs dead? Is this, if they lose this game, is it over for them? And I wanted it so bad. I wanted it so bad as a Broncos fan and a Chiefs hater. I wanted it so bad for them to be, have a losing record, have 4 losses, and just be in trouble. And of course, they do what the Chiefs do, and they backs against the wall. They end up winning that game, and Lions didn't really stand a chance. So now the media and the NFL fans are, kind of on the Chiefs are, they might be the number 1 team in football, or they're a top 5 team, when just a couple weeks ago they weren't a top 5 team, and some probably were saying they weren't a top 10 team. So it is crazy how fast the NFL reacts and changes, and what one win or a couple wins, a couple losses can do to a team and the thoughts of a team. I mean, look at the Bills. That's another game we should talk about. Bills just a couple weeks ago were surefire going to the Super Bowl, best team in football, and then they lose 2 straight. And then you look at the wins that they have, and Bills might be frauds. They might not really be that good of a football team. And it's really, I'm not going to say they are or they aren't, but I am going to say they lack offensive weapons, receiving weapons. Quarterback great, running back great, but I mean, what great quarterback has less at receiver than Josh Allen and the Bills have? Because I really can't think of a great quarterback that has less talent at the receiving position than Josh Allen. I mean, you could maybe argue Mahomes, but he has some guys that he has some receivers. He has some fat. I mean, Josh Allen would love to have some of the speed that Mahomes has. So maybe they make a trade. I know last year they made a trade for Amari Cooper, and it didn't move the needle. Now he's retired, so he was probably wasn't fully bought into football at that point, especially if he's retired now. So maybe they can make a move and trade for a receiver, a star receiver. I don't know who's on the trading block or any of that, but Bills need some help because they don't have good wins. They really don't. I mean, they have okay wins, but they don't have any great wins. So that was another game that stood out to me. Uh, but other than that, I mean, nothing crazy. This is kind of a quick pod, so just look at some of the other matchups if there's any I really want to talk about. Um, yeah, I mean, shout out to the Panthers. That was a team I picked because it seems like every other week they play pretty well, and so they beat the Cowboys. So they beat the Cowboys 30-27, and the Panthers have 3 wins now, 3 wins, 3 losses, which is they are on the right track to turning things around, and you love to see that for a team that also was in Super Bowl 50 with the Broncos and hasn't had success after. It's crazy you know, how much a culture or a team can turn around and go the opposite way after going to the Super Bowl. Broncos and Carolina both have gone through some tough times after Super Bowl 50. So it's good to see Bryce Young and the Panthers playing competitive football and winning 3-3. If you would have taken their win total, the over, I mean, you'd be looking really good right now. I mean, I don't know what it was. I'm assuming it was probably around 4.5, 5.5 wins. So say it was 5.5 wins. Panthers only need 3 more wins now, and that's a money golden ticket. So it's never a bad idea. It's always a bad idea, in my opinion, to take a win total over. When it's like around 9 wins, but it's never a bad idea. And the reason I say when it's around 9 wins, it's a bad idea taking the over because anything can happen. A team could just start off slow, or their starting quarterback could get hurt, and he could be out for the season. Look at the Bengals. That 9.5 looks absolutely terrible or that 8.5 looks terrible because Joe Burrow's out. That one player can determine those 9 or so wins. But on the reverse side, I think it's always a smart idea to entertain or think about putting money on teams that have a very low win total. So 4.5, 5.5 wins. I mean, any given year, a team can turn it around and win, 7, 8 games. Or they could even win more and go to the playoffs. So the bar is set so low, and that's what I did with Denver last year. It was set so low, and I knew they had Sean Payton. So I put $500. I would have put more, but fiance she steered me the correct way, I guess, to be more reserved with my betting, more smart. So I only did 500, but I felt very confident because they had Sean Payton, and it was such a low win total. I think it was like 5.5 wins. Broncos won 10 games last year. So Carolina, that could be a really good bet. I mean, it's already on pace. If they were at 5.5 wins, they're going to hit it. So congrats to the Panthers. But that's probably it on week 6. Let's move on to week 7. I am going to invite Stefan here, and we're going to take our picks. I'll just keep chatting it up until he gets in here. But hopefully he gets this text, and we can make our picks here. I know he's a busy man, and he's got the baby Mav, and he's moving clear across country. So hopefully he sees this text and is ready to make the picks. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about tonight's game. Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. So not too far from where I live here in Columbus, Ohio. A little south, go south, and then that's Cincinnati. So Cincinnati has a home game against the Steelers. These games are always fun. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals find a way to win. And that's because it's a division game. You never know what can happen in division games. The teams play each other every year, twice a year, and they have the most knowledge, the most tape, the most weather. I mean, anything you can think of about an opponent, they have the most knowledge of because they're just so used to playing these teams. So that's why you see a lot of times these divisional games are close. You know, even if it's a bad team versus a good team, somehow they'll make it competitive. And I wouldn't be surprised if that happens tonight. Right now, the spread is 5.5, -5.5 for the Steelers. Uh, I do say I wouldn't be surprised, but I am going if the Bengals play pretty well. I think they can play pretty well, but still not cover the spread. And I think that's what's going to happen. I see Cincinnati coming out pretty strong. Maybe a good opening drive for Flacco. You know, he's just got on the team a couple weeks ago, but I'm sure he'll have that opening drive down. Excuse me. Or first couple drives down pat. And then once the game kind of gets more of the game flow, I think that he'll fall off a little bit. So, yeah, I think the Steelers are going to cover. I think Mike Tomlin, this is just a game that he will find a way to win because that's what he does. And his comments are very interesting on what is it? His comments are very interesting on, Joe Flacco, the Browns trading Joe Flacco to Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin, I'm paraphrasing, but basically said, what are we doing? Why are we helping divisional opponents? Like that we're supposed to beat our people in our division. The whole goal is to win the division. Here you are, you had a quarterback that you viewed as your starting quarterback, and then you traded him a quarter of a way, a third of the way through the year to a division opponent that has really good receivers, that has a good quarterback that possibly might come back and play. You never know with today's medical industry and technology. Maybe Joe Flacco comes back, or not Joe Flacco, Joe Burrow. So why help out the Bengals? Especially, I don't know. So I get where Mike Tomlin's coming from, and because of that, I think he's gonna be fiery. He's gonna want this game even more to set a statement to the Browns. So we'll see what happens. I'll root for I have some friends that are Steelers fans, so I can't tell you who I'll root for, but I might root for the Ohio team just because I'm in Ohio and got a lot of Ohio fans, and they're having a tough year. I mean, the quarterback's out, so I might end up rooting for the Bengals. So my pick on the money line, I'll just start making my picks, and then if Stefan ends up joining or gets in the waiting room, we can do his picks after. That way we can keep it going and keep it moving. So my money line pick is Pittsburgh over Cincy. Bear with me here. I'm trying to write and pod at the same time. So now we're moving on to the Sunday games. Sunday games. First one is Rams at Jaguars. So Los Angeles Rams at the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is a 9:30 game, and that one is at Wembley Stadium. I've been there. That was amazing. Amazing experience. I would tell everyone to do that. Okay, here comes Stefan. Here we go. What up? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you. You moving some more today? What are you doing?
Yeah, everything is up in the air right now, bro. So pretty much getting all our stuff out. So I'm out back. And then are we live right now?
Yeah, we're live.
But yeah. So everything, like right now, they're about to come pick up our cars to ship the cars. They already picked up most of our stuff. So it's all happening pretty fast paced now, bro. So that's why I had to just do the picks today, just hop on really quick and say what's up to everyone
Yeah.
and get our convo going.
Cool. Yeah, that's perfect. I just started the picks, so That's good. I only did the Thursday night game. So
Okay.
tonight's game, I did that, and I did money line Steelers over the Bengals. I'm assuming you'll probably pick the same, and then I was talking about the Rams versus Jags. So that's where we're at.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, cool. Before we get into that, I just want to, this is the first time I did this setup because it's just like kind of on the go. So, does the audio sound like, can you hear like people cutting the grass in the back and stuff?
No, I can't.
Okay, cool. So I think the mic is actually working how it's supposed to. Perfect. But yeah, as far as the Thursday night game, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and think outside the box like we've been talking about on these Thursday night games because what we've got like the last like three Thursday night games wrong. So
Yeah, we have.
yeah. So I was like, yo, I would go ahead and say that Joe Flacco is going to have a retro performance, like we did when he was winning Super Bowls and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins can get loose a little bit and they can outscore Pittsburgh tonight. So I'm actually going to go ahead and go with the Bengals to get an upset tonight.
There you go. You hear that, Ohio? The
Yes,
man
sir.
is he's moving. He's leaving Ohio, but he still has a soft spot for Ohio. So
I guess so.
Stefan's going with the Bengals.
And I still don't fully believe in the Steelers yet. I mean, they're 4-1, but I don't know if they're as good as that record shows.
Yeah, you kind of never do. I mean, ever since Ben Roethlisberger's been gone, it's like the Steelers have always won, but you're just like, are they
Right.
that good? So, all right, let's go. Rams at Jaguars. So, Rams are 2.5 point favorites. This could be a really good game. It's a 2.5 point favorite going towards the Rams. I'm going to go with the Rams just because of the quarterback matchup. I think Stafford's a better quarterback currently than the Jags, Trevor Lawrence. So I'm going to go with the Rams.
Okay. I like Matthew Stafford more than Trevor Lawrence as well. But I'm going to go ahead and ride with my Jaguars. They're the team that I've been kind of feeling like they have something to prove this year. They have a pretty good roster. Their defense is still gets a lot of turnovers. And if they can get a couple turnovers against Stafford without Puka Nakua, I like that as well. I think their defense can play pretty stout. I mean, the Rams only scored 17 points last week against the really bad Ravens defense. And I think that the Jaguars defense is better than the Ravens defense. And I think that the Rams or the Jaguars offense can put up more than 3 points. So I think it'll be a competitive game. And I think that the Jaguars can get a home victory.
Okay. This next one is Toilet Bowl. It's a toilet bowl game. It's the Miami Dolphins versus the Cleveland Browns.
Oh,
Yeah, Dolphins versus Browns, and I'm assuming that Gabriel's still a starter there in Cleveland. Browns are favored to win this game, but I still think Miami is more talented, and talent wins football games. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
all right. Well, we're going three in a row opposite picks. So we'll know right from the bat who is going to take the win this week between you and I. Because I'm going to go ahead and go with the other Ohio team here. Let's go Browns. I think that Miami is just, I don't like what I'm seeing from them. Obviously, I don't like what I'm seeing from the Browns either, but at least the Browns have a lot of young guys that are trying to make a name for themselves, including Dylan Gabriel. I really like Junkins as well, the running back. So I think their offense can do a little something against Miami's defense. And then the Cleveland Browns defense is still solid. So as long as those guys are still bought in, which is a big question mark because I don't know how much they're really riding with Stefanski now. But I think like they have a little bit of hope because they got all these young guys trying to make some moves. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with Cleveland to get the win.
Okay. I like it. I do like it. The reason why I picked the Dolphins is if you look at their games, they've all been close games. They're just on the wrong side of them. Now that's that shows you can't finish out games, but they lost to the Chargers by 2. They lost to the Panthers by 3. They beat the Jets by 6. They lost to the Bills by 10. They lost to the Patriots by 5 or 6, I'm sorry. The one game that they played extremely horrible in was the season opener against the Colts where they lost 33-8. So they
Mm.
very well, I just don't think they're as bad as what the record says, but what we will see we'll see how it shakes out this week against the Browns. If they lose to the Browns, they are as bad as their record is in my opinion. So next one is Patriots at the Titans. This one's very simple. Oh, man, you know what? I was gonna say this is very simple. When you fire a coach, I just can't pick you to win, but usually teams get a bump, a little slight bump the game after they fire the coach. A game or 2 after the team rallies together. So I do think Tennessee will do that, and I do think they're gonna score more. I do think they're gonna score more than they had been with I think it's Mike McCoy is their fill-in coach. Oh, man, I kinda wanna lean towards Tennessee here at home, but I'm gonna go Patriots. I'm gonna go Patriots.
Oh, we're finally on the same page with one. I like the Patriots. They're 4-2. They're feeling like they can make a nice little push here. They feel like the AFC is a little bit more open than it has been in years past. I think they're going to try to take advantage of that and continue with their good energy, good vibes, and I think they'll take care of Tennessee pretty easily.
Yeah. This next one is a high spread, -12.5 going to Kansas City against the Las Vegas Raiders. I would consider taking the points in that if I was a betting man because the division game and divisional games, I was saying before you jumped on, they're usually pretty close because these teams know each other. Even if it's a bad team versus a good team, in divisional games, it's hard to pick blowouts. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders played pretty competitive, but I do think Kansas City at home is going to win this game.
Yeah, I agree with your point. Divisional games, no matter the teams, no matter the records, they're usually pretty competitive. 12 points is a lot for a spread, but Kansas City right now, I think they've kind of found their footing. They have Rice coming back this week, which is going to be huge for them. I'm not sure if he's going to get, his typical workload, but that offense is really going to look prolific when you got Rice back, Worthy's back. Hollywood Brown's been playing well. Travis Kelce needs to do a little bit better, but he's still all right. Pacheco's starting to get a little bit of running room in that offense and in the running game. So I think overall their offense is starting to hit stride. So I don't think the Raiders are going to be able to keep up with them. 12 points is a lot. But if I had to go with as far as obviously the money line, Kansas City, but if I was even doing the spread, I think I would take Kansas City to cover that spread.
Yeah, they are hot right now. They appear to be hot after the last 2 games. The NFL's ever changing, so you never know. Just a couple weeks ago, the Bills were, everyone's picked to win the Super Bowl, and now you look at their record, and you're like, what's their solid win? So it just changes week to week. It could change again, and I hope it does. I'm rooting for the Raiders in that one. Let's go to Eagles at Vikings. J.J. McCarthy, I think, is expected to be back in this game. We still don't know what type of quarterback he is. Is he a good quarterback? Is he a bad quarterback? Is he in the middle? Is he better than Wentz? I don't know. A lot of questions there, but there's also a lot of questions in Philadelphia and that team and what's going on with their offense and their 2 elite receivers talking about getting the ball. So Philly is in a little bit of a mess as well. I do think Philly bounces back here. JJ McCarthy is pretty much a rookie, and Philly, I just can't see him losing three straight.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Philadelphia, this game right here is going to pretty much, in my opinion, kind of dictate whether they are legitimate contenders again or not, or if they have this just what they call it that supernatural funk or whatever some people were defining it as a couple years ago when they started off like 10-0 or 10-1 or something, and then they just started stumbling into the playoffs. That got blown out by Tampa Bay in the first playoff game. And it's kind of weird that this team is going through that a little bit again after winning last year. So I think you would think that they got past that hurdle. Like you wouldn't think it would happen to them again, especially after winning a championship. So I'm gonna go ahead and have faith that they have that championship pedigree and just get right back on track and take care of Minnesota with like you said, pretty much a rookie quarterback. And honestly, I think they'd have a better chance. Minnesota would have a better chance if Wentz was in there. So
Yeah,
Wentz
because
or JJ McCarthy, I think either one. I think Philadelphia starts to right their wrongs here and gets the win.
Philadelphia very very well could be fine. I mean, they've won 20 of their last 22 games, so it's a lot of overreacting. One win changes all that. So Philly still could very well just be a juggernaut team. They lost 2 games out of their last 20,
It just
so
sucks when you start to hear some noise coming out of the locker room and it's been consistent. It seems just like it's like part of what they do at this point. But you look at the other championship teams, obviously Kansas City has been doing their thing for a while. Even when they have these down periods, you don't hear any type of negative stuff coming out of the locker room. So it's kind of odd that they have that. I don't know. The leadership there is kind of weird. Like I really think that Jalen Hurts is a great leader, but I don't know if Antonio Brown, uh, I'm
AJ.
blanking. AJ Brown is his personality is just too strong, or if their head coach isn't doing what they need to do. Really, to me, when I'm watching the game, it just looks like their play calling is trash. So I know they have a first year play caller there. I think that's really their problem. But yeah, it would be nice if they could kind of zip their mouth a little bit and just have some better team overall chemistry.
Yeah, that is a good point. I was asking an Eagles fan, does AJ Brown and Smitty, do they like Jalen Hurts? And because it's crazy, like I would assumed like they love Hurts. I would have thought they love Hurts, but the guy I talked to, he was like, wasn't sure. It's like you're not even sure if your receivers like your starting quarterback like that. That's tough, and that kind of goes back to what I was saying about Hurts, not being top five. Is I don't think there's a top five quarterback who has elite receivers, has his elite receivers saying, I need to get the ball. I mean, you think of Joe Burrow, his receivers, they're getting the ball. You think of Mahomes, his receivers are getting the ball. So it's very weird. And I think it kind of matches up with my point. It's like
Yeah.
you have these outstanding receivers, but you can't get them the ball. Like that shouldn't even be a question or a topic, and it's been a topic even when they're winning. So I wouldn't be surprised if I mean it's going to get messy. So like, if they
Yeah, I think
lose it,
like one of the biggest parallels I can think of in recent years is the Stefan Diggs in Buffalo, and he was getting the ball like
yeah, he
Josh Allen,
was.
but Josh Allen was going out of the way to get him the ball, and then when they traded him away, it looked like their offense opened up. Almost probably because Josh Allen wasn't thinking, oh, I got to get Steph on the ball. I got to get Steph on the ball.
Yeah,
So maybe that could be a similar case too when, if and when they decide to trade AJ Brown, if they feel like that's the answer to their problems. But we don't know if that is the problem. But I look at it and I'm just thinking that the play calling is weird. That's what I see. Just obviously, I'm not in the locker room. I don't know what's going on, but it just seems like the play calling is weird because it's not just AJ Brown. Also, Saquon Barkley is not looking as good. Everyone's not looking as good. So it's just kind of odd.
yeah, it is. I think teams are keying in. And I was saying that before you jumped on the pod. You would think, like all right, we're gonna win the same way every year. It's like, all right, Saquon went off last year. No one could stop him. The average NFL fan is probably like, well, just do that again this year. Just keep rinse and repeat. Do that again. Run, give him the ball, give him the ball. These NFL teams, they work so hard. They're not going to let that happen 2 years in a row. So they have to have another plan. Like they can't just, yes, I agree. Saquon's not getting the ball enough, but he's not going to have a year like last year again. NFL teams just simply won't let it happen. So that's the thing in this league. When you win, you got to adapt. You got to find new ways to win because it's not going to be the same. Teams are going to find a way to stop what you're good at.
Yeah,
So,
well, even their game, I forget what game it was. I think 2 weeks ago, they were winning by 14 or something like this in the second half, and Saquon only had like six. They only ran the ball like 6 or 7 times the whole second half. It's just
yeah.
like, what is that? Was that the Denver game? I'm like, what is going on? Like, why are
I
you
think
only
Saquon,
you're
yeah, I think Saquon only got the ball 6 carries total.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like, come on. You're winning the game in the second half.
You're throwing.
Obviously, the
Yeah.
offense isn't humming through the air. So just run the ball, bro. Like, I don't know. But yeah,
Yeah.
we can move on. We can
Yeah.
talk
We'll
about
move
that all
on
day.
from them. But I mean, it's a topic that people want to hear about. People want to
Mm.
hear about the Eagles and their problems. It's reality. They're the Super Bowl champs. We're not Eagles fans, but it's the team that people talk about the most. And so it's a good conversation. But we will move on. We're going to go to Panthers at the Jets. So Panthers at the Jets. Panthers got a solid team. I was saying this also. I'm being repetitive. Before you got on the pod, Panthers are looking like a team. They're 3-3, and they were one of those teams that had like a 5.5 win total on the year. So in the future, always consider betting on a team that has a low win total of 4.5, 5.5 games because it's such a low bar in teams. Teams can any team in any year can go on and win 7, 8 games. So congrats to the Panthers for doing their thing. Giants or Jets, on the other hand, I didn't see the game. I was listening to it, but they didn't sound like they were good against the Broncos. And Fields is struggling. He's not a starter probably in this league. So I'm going to go with the Panthers.
Yeah, I like the Panthers as well. I'm still not fully sold on them, but obviously they're going up against the 0-6 team, and it's kind of hard to say because, like, you know, the Jets aren't going to go 0-17, right? So you would assume that they're going to win one of these games, and this would be one of the games that they could win. They are at home against a team that hasn't been proven to do much. But yeah, like you said, the Panthers, they're kind of playing with some house money right now. They're feeling good about themselves. So 3-3 had a really good ending to their game against Dallas last week when they were an underdog. So I think that they can still ride it high and get a W here.
Yep. This next one, it's a team that people are talking about and they're loving the young talent that is on this team with Jackson Dart and Scatabo, Cam Scatabo, I think is his name. So Giants are going to Denver, but this one's pretty easy for me, and I'm taking the bias out of it. Denver has the best defense in the NFL. They got 30 sacks. They're on pace for 85 sacks. The most sacks by a team in one single season is 72 sacks. So they're on pace to crush this record. They're getting to the quarterback, and they're doing it at a high clip. And it's in Denver, and Jackson Dart's a rookie. It's just a lot to ask for a rookie quarterback to go in to Denver on Demaryius Thomas Day, where he gets enshrined into the Ring of Fame at Mile High Stadium. So Denver fans and the whole city of Denver is going to be emotional because of the tragic death of Super Bowl winning receiver Demaryius Thomas. And I think it's just a lot to overcome for the Giants. I got the Broncos winning this game.
All right. Yeah, you put a pretty good case there, but I am really starting to buy in with the energy shift that's happening in New York. I'm locked into what's going on over there. These rookies have changed the way that these guys walk, talk, play, all of it. And I'm really vibing with it. And if Dart and Scattaboo can keep doing their thing, I think it's going to be a huge challenge going to Denver against that defense. But the thing about it is when Dart and Scattaboo, obviously mostly Dart, when he started doing his thing, it didn't just help the offense, it changed their defense. Their defense is pretty good. And then when they got that boost, like, okay, our offense can actually do something, you can kind of see them playing harder. And they're playing for their rookie quarterback over there and the rookie running back, which is kind of weird. Like, you don't really see a tandem just pop up like this. So I think it's going to be a really competitive game. And I like what I'm seeing it with the Giants. So I think they can get a go ahead upset win here in Denver.
All right. That could be a big call. It could be a really big call. All right. What do we got next? We have Colts at Chargers. I don't love what I see out of the Chargers. They started strong, but even last week they should have lost. And Herbert, he just flipped the ball off while he was getting sacked a couple times, and they went on to get a field goal. But without that, I mean, they would have lost that game. So I'm going to make this one easy. I'm going to go Colts.
Yeah, I'm on the same page with you on that. I just think that the Chargers offensive line is pretty much falling apart and Herbert's back there running for his life. I can't fully say with confidence because I haven't watched the Colts that much. I've just kind of seen their highlights and how well they've been playing. I don't know how good their defensive line is off the top of my head, but I do know the Chargers offensive line is trash. And the home field advantage in Los Angeles really isn't much of an advantage. They don't really have a true fan base. The Colts have been playing well, so I like the Colts in this game as well.
Washington at Dallas. Dallas to me is a different team when they're at home. They're just a different team, and they've been playing pretty well this year on the offensive side of the ball. Defense, not so much, but I think their offense does enough to win this game at home against the Commanders. I'm going Cowboys.
I do not like Dallas's defense, and that's probably because I had a bet with including them last week. and I just watched their defense get torched by Bryce Young. And I was like, Bryce Young is not this guy like that, bro. Come on. The Cowboys couldn't stop him at all. They just milked the clock at the end of the game. And it just made me really hate Dallas's defense even more. And we saw him got torched a couple times this year. Their offense, Dak Prescott, I like it. He's great. He's been playing well. No problem there. It's just that defense is so bad. And I don't I don't think that after last Monday, Jay and Daniels literally dropping the ball on Monday night, they're not gonna want to have a repeat performance. So I think they're gonna go ahead and just have I think they're gonna win this game. It's gonna be competitive, it's a divisional game, but I like the overall team of the Commanders more than the overall team of the Cowboys.
Yeah, I can see that. I actually do agree with that. I just think Dallas can find a way. All right, we're gonna go Packers at the Cardinals. I'm gonna go with Cardinals. This might be a little bit of a shocker, but I'm gonna go with the Cardinals to beat the Packers. Packers are all bark, no bite. They say they're a hyped team, and I think the Cardinals can take care of business.
Yeah, the Cardinals are one of the teams I've always been riding with. There was like them and Jacksonville were kind of my underdog teams this year, and Arizona they've been making me look bad on that pick. so so I kind of threw them away. I'm done with them. And Green Bay is a good team. Arizona is I don't know if Kyler Murray is playing. Do you know if he's playing?
I don't. They were better
Yeah.
without him last week. It seemed like though.
Yeah, you know how sometimes that is, that
Yeah.
backup quarterback comes in for that one game and does well, but obviously they're backup for a reason, doesn't really last. But yeah, Jacoby Brissett, he's formidable. But I like Green Bay to win this game. I do think they're kind of hyped, and I agreed with the hype, and I still believe in them. I don't think they played that bad. I think Jordan Love has just had he's made like maybe one or two just really bad decisions that have cost them. Especially the Cleveland game, he had that bad interception. They still should have won that game. Dallas, I don't know what the heck was going on with that game. I don't really remember how Jordan Love played. I think he played pretty good. But I like Jordan Love. I think if he continues to show that he's a high level quarterback in this league, if he can be, top 8 quality, they should be able to make a deep run this year. And I like the Packers.
Okay. Packers it is. We got 3 games left. We got Sunday night and 2 Monday nights again. So the Falcons, big win last week. They are going to San Francisco. The Niners are expected to get George Kittle back, which is big for my fantasy team, in case you were wondering. And I'm not sure about Purdy. Maybe they get Purdy back, but I'm not entirely sure. That's probably something I need to look up, actually. 1 second here. Purdy.
What's crazy is that Purdy and Mac Jones, it almost feels like it's the same thing.
Yeah,
Like
it's that
whichever one
system.
plays, I don't really feel like it's a pro or a con. I'm like, all right, cool. Brock Purdy has a little bit more escapability. I think he has more like upside as far as just making plays that are more off script, but you don't really have to do that too much when you play for San Francisco.
Right. Says he was limited in practice, so I guess it's up in the air. It wasn't a full practice. I'm gonna go with San Francisco at home. They've been a team that's been under the radar, and they've been winning games. They should not have won with all the injuries they've had. I probably picked against them a lot, and they're just winning games. So I'm gonna go with them at home.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Atlanta. And I think this game is more about San Francisco's injuries than me like fully believing in Atlanta yet. I liked what they did against Buffalo, but I think Buffalo's a bit overrated. Atlanta's kind of been up and down this year. But San Francisco, man, like they lost Fred Warner against Tampa Bay last week. They're just losing guys, and they're losing top level guys that it's going to be hard for them to keep winning and keep doing their thing. I mean, obviously the coaches are doing what they got to do, but something's going on in San Francisco, bro. Like every single person, all their stars have been dinged up. And Fred Warner, he ain't coming back. I don't know if you saw that, bro. His ankle was all
Yeah,
the way the
no,
other way. Yeah, he's
yeah.
done. So I think Atlanta, I don't love this pick, but I'm going to go with Atlanta just because I think San Francisco is a little too decimated.
I tell you what, the standings are gonna shake up a lot this
No
week.
matter what. So
Wow.
we did tie, right, this past week?
Yeah, both went 9-6.
Yeah.
And then your total, I have it right here. I had it.
We can check
Where's that?
after.
Yeah. I had it right here. Okay, yeah. 60 wins for me, 31 losses, one tie. And your 57 wins, 34 losses, and one tie.
All right,
So
this the
still
week. This the
close.
week I come back.
Yeah, it could be. All right. Tampa Bay Bucks, Monday Night Football at the Detroit Lions. Detroit is favored by 5.5, and they're at home. I think I'm going to go with Detroit. I'm going to go with the Lions to win this one.
Yep, I like Detroit too. Tampa Bay's another team that's pretty banged up right now, but Baker's just been finding a way to win games. But it's going to be hard to do that to go into Detroit and get a win like that. I mean, if he does, his MVP status is just going to keep on growing like crazy if Baker can pull this one off because he's just out here balling. But I think Detroit just has too much in there. They don't really have many injury problems like these other teams right now. Um, they had they have home field advantage. They kind of had a weird game against Kansas City. They're going to want to get that bad taste out of their mouth. So I think Detroit will win this game.
Good pick. Good pick. Last but not least, we got Houston, the Texans, taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle is a tough place to go and win a game. So because of that, I like what I see out of the Seahawks. I'm going to go with the Seahawks beating the Texans.
Yeah, I like the Seahawks too. What you just said, they got the 12th man over there in Seattle. Houston has been playing better of late, but still not really what you would expect from what you saw a couple years ago out of CJ Stroud. So I like the Seahawks to win.
Okay. So I'm looking at this right now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 games that we have different.
That
So
has to be the most.
it has to be a shakeup, right? Because it's an odd number.
Although
So
last week I feel like we had a lot of different ones too, and we ended up tying.
and
But
it's
yeah,
like,
there's going to
yeah.
be some type of shakeup here.
All right. Good luck. I gotta roll and get back to work. You gotta, roll and you gotta get back to moving and stuff. So
Yes, sir.
um I don't know if you're gonna watch the game at all tonight, but if you do, it's probably gonna be on like a sports bar TV or something. But enjoy the game if you do watch it.
Appreciate it, man. Yes, sir. I do want to say something here on the pod, just to get you guys, anyone who's listening, and also your thoughts on this. But I saw someone on an Instagram account post about this bet that they've been doing, and they're 9-3 on the season. NFL games are doing first half under 24 and a half. And they've just been placing that bet on I guess that what would that be? Like 12 games so far this season. And they're
Yeah.
9-3. And they're explaining because if in order for that to not hit, the teams would have to score either 4 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals, or, some kind of a lot of combinations that would have to add up to more than 25 points. Or more than
Yeah.
24 points, 24 and a half, under 24 and a half. So I'm going to play that. I don't know if tonight would be the best night to do that because the Bengals defense is pretty trash, but I'm going to go ahead and play it tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and do it a couple of times this weekend, and I'll get back to you guys and see what my record is doing that.
Yeah. Let me know how it goes. I'm always interested in trying to make some more money. So
Yeah, because when
yeah.
he talked about it, I was like, that sounds pretty good. I like that. I like that. So I'm going to
Yeah.
play it and see. What do you think about it? Just hearing me talk about it now.
Well, 24 and a half, 4 touchdowns would do it, right? It'd be
Mm-hmm.
28 points. So, I mean, if it's 9-3, I like it. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of like the scoring. I
Yeah,
mean,
so
there
I
has
looked
been
at the
a decent amount of
stats.
scoring.
I looked at the stats from like last week's games before I placed it. I was like, let me see what this guy's really talking about. So, yeah, like I was looking at the games last week, and most of them that did occur. Of course, there was games where it didn't occur, but there was definitely more games where it did.
Yeah. What are the odds though? Is it like -5, like
No,
400?
no,
It just
no.
depends on.
So today, like when I placed it, I think it was minus like 170. It's not
Okay.
bad.
That's not bad. I do like it. The only caveat I have is I've been trying to get I've been trying to just get to like money lines, or if I do a parlay, just three legs. But a team will always try to win the game. So like I've been trying to just like, oh, let me just put 50 on a team to win. So
Yeah.
that's my only caveat. Um, but if it's just like a $10 bet, I do like what you got going there.
Yeah, I'll just put 5 on it because I'm be losing money. So here we go. $2 return, baby. Let's get it.
This is Word. All right. Well, you guys have a great week. We'll be back next week. I believe you're going to be in California
I'll
at
be
that
in
point, right?
California. I should be good. I'll keep you posted. But I should be able to do the whole
You're
thing.
leaving on
And
Tuesday, though, right?
yeah, we're leaving on Tuesday.
You're not there. So, what date do you plan on getting there? Obviously, you're going to
Oh
stop.
no,
Do you have a
no, we're
baby?
flying.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why all our stuff is gone. Like they're getting our car. Like right
Uh,
when I get off this, I got to go ahead and drive to
mm,
the place where they ship our cars. So we got to
all
do
right.
that today. But yeah, so we'll be there Tuesday. We fly Tuesday, get there Tuesday. So I'm sure by Thursday or Wednesday, whatever we want to do it, we could probably hop on real quick.
Yeah. Pod will be up. It'll keep going. So,
Yes,
all right,
sir.
brother.
All right, man.
Talk to
Stay
you later.
blessed. All right, y'all.
Yep.
Peace.
Later.